welcome back to the RNA podcast. I'm Stephen Approbato. That's Riley Raimondo. And today we had guest Shane Calhoun, a tight end from East Carolina University, on with us. Riley, how was it? How'd it go? First time on the podcast?
Yeah, it was a good interview for the first time. We got a lot of questions in about football. Even talked to him a little bit about, some of the North Carolina barbecue, cookout, the environment at Eastern Carolina. It was a special interview for us because it was one of our friends from back home. Some of our interviews, hopefully in the future, will be, more broad, not necessarily people that we grew up with. But yeah, it was a good one today.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. Shane didn't really like Carolina barbecue. Everybody kind of hypes it up. And he kind of surprised me that he doesn't eat it. He doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, definitely not any shortage of eating for him up there. He's already gained about 10 pounds in his freshman year. Obviously packing on the pounds to be, tight end Division I football. But yeah, it was a good interview. We got to talk about, the transition that he made from high school to college football, and some of his experiences in his freshman year.
Yeah, it was cool to see kind of a behind the scenes of Shane Calhoun's first season at ECU, some of the difficulties of COVID, and even life off of campus, what it's like at ECU. I know during COVID, everybody's kind of inside, so it's kind of interesting to see how it's affecting different universities and schools across America.
Well, here it is. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Our first guest is Shane Calhoun, the ECU tight end. Shane, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show. We're happy to have you. How you doing, man? How's your freshman year of college going?
It's been going good. I'm going through winter workouts with the team right now, and getting ready to get up for spring practice starting on March 15th. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so how is that with your schedule? Does everybody have like a different time they work out at, or is it early in the morning when everybody can go?
Um, I don't know about different time to work out at. We work out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we have 6:30 runs in the morning. So it's not too different from other people, but it's still the same.
So freshman year, what was it? You had about 83 yards as 5 receptions. Is that correct? Average about 16 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys you're 3-6. But hopefully look to go a little bit better off in the future. Now, were you starting every game, or it looked to me as a guy named Zach Bird might have been the starting tight end. You were kind of filling after him.
So this year I didn't start the first game, but I started all the 8 games after that. So we played 9 games. I started 8 of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Yeah,
Shane,
it looked to be about 4 or 5 tight ends in the roster. So
Yeah.
played pretty well though for freshman year.
Shane, I got a quick question for you. When you lined up, was the majority like outside receiver, or were you more of a blocking tight end? How was that for you?
I did a little bit of both. I was in line blocking, and I also split out in the slot and sometimes outside. So I did a little bit of everything.
All right, so similar to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Awesome.
What was so? I know that it was a little different with COVID this year, so you weren't really able to play in big time environments. But were there any schools that you really enjoyed playing at? I know, like in the American Conference, schools like Cincinnati's got a pretty good environment usually. I don't know. Did you guys play at UCF or were you guys at home?
We were home against UCF, but we played at Cincinnati and we played at USF. So those were pretty cool games. We also played at Tulsa. So I'd probably say Tulsa and Cincinnati were the best environments to play in. It's like a really closed environment, lots of music, lots of people. So
Yeah, and those two
cool to
teams
play
were
in.
both in top 25 this year. Cincinnati went to the Peach Bowl, played against Georgia in a great game. Both of them were in the American Conference Championship, which was a great football contest this year. But I guess American Power Six that's what they say, right?
Yeah, that sure is what they say.
How do you feel about that?
Um, everyone has a different opinion on it. I think with the competition we play every week in, week out, we really should be in the Power Six for the Power Five conference conversation, because even in some of the lower conferences like the Sun Belt, they still have great teams. And if you look at the statistics, we were actually better than the ACC the last 2 years in views and the amount of people that watch our games.
There you get a little shot at Steven there at FSU.
Yeah, man, FSU.
Yeah.
I think ECU might compete with FSU if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no,
Pretty
especially
similar
this year.
records. Yeah.
You guys do have Mackenzie Milton though coming in, so it's a little different.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. So Shane, outside of your playing football, you're a Falcons fan, right?
Yeah.
So but you grew up in Texas, right? I mean,
Well, I didn't grow up in.
you were
I didn't
born
grow
in
up completely in
Texas.
Texas.
You were
I
born
was
in
not
Texas.
born in Texas.
Where were you born?
Atlanta.
Oh, and then you moved to Texas and then Jacksonville?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Now, so here's a question I have for you, right? So you moved from Texas to Jacksonville, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you played your high school football in Florida, but you were from Texas originally. So would you have rather played high school football in Texas?
Honestly, it probably doesn't really matter to me. Honestly, the football in Florida I think is better, but in Texas they have probably a better environment to play in, the big stadiums and more people. But I think the football is evenly matched. But I think football in Florida is a little bit better.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Year in and year out, football in Florida pretty much produces probably the most D1 talent, but Texas is the one that's really hyped up because of their environments.
Yeah, definitely.
So Shane, I remember you playing quarterback in middle school for a little bit. If you could go back and change anything about your football career or how you went about anything, what would you do?
I don't know if I would change anything. I think playing quarterback in middle school and doing all those things kind of set me up to know how to do different things in college because I got to see the field from all different positions. So I think it was good for me.
Yeah, man. I remember we even won a championship at flag football in the Seahawks, bro. I know we didn't win much at middle school football, but or high school, but flag football, we had that.
Flag was fun, man. I miss flag football.
I changed, so I got to ask you, so obviously working off a 3-6 season last year. I know there's a local kid coming in. Was Walter Simmons, the quarterback? What are his? Have you been working him at all? In the off season when you were back, are you going to be working him this summer? Is there anything? Do you think that he could come in and compete for a job, or you guys already pretty much solidified in your quarterback position?
I think the quarterback position is not completely solidified. There's still a couple of people competing for the job right now. We have a junior returning, and then my roommate is going to be a sophomore next year. He's pretty good, so he'll be competing for the position. But with Walter, I competed against him in high school playing his team, and then over the winter break, I went out there and threw with him and caught with him. So I worked out with him a little bit. So it'll be good to see what he can do starting this summer.
Got you. Now, so you're listed at 6'2", 236 on the website. Now, what did you come in at weight-wise?
I actually came in at 236. I've grown a little bit and put on a little bit of weight, so I'm not that anymore.
What size are you now?
So they list me right now at 6'3.5", 245.
Got you. Wow. So about 10 pounds.
Shane, I got a quick question for you. I remember Ian was very small, and now Ian's very big. How much is your brother grown?
It's funny you say that. My brother got measured the other day. Back at school, he was 6'2", 285. So
wow,
he's a pretty big boy. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
That's crazy, bro. Is he getting recruited at all, or?
Yeah, he just has a couple of D1s talking to him, a couple of D2s talking to him. I think Furman's talking to him right now. Wake Forest is, University of Arizona is, and a bunch of D2 programs are.
Gotcha.
So, is there a possibility that you guys may have a matchup in college football?
We'll see. I don't know if he wants
Shane
that,
versus
we'll
Ian.
See.
Yeah,
we'll
pretty fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. So next year it looks like you guys start off with now, per COVID, guidelines. It looks like you guys starting off with Appalachian State and South Carolina back to back. So I mean, those would be some pretty big games. And now, you guys are at South Carolina, so that would be a pretty cool environment to play in, won't it?
Yeah, I can't wait to play them, man. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're going to an SEC school, you're going to play there. It's going to be pretty cool. You're also going to travel to UCF. UCF just got Gus Malzahn as their new head coach. There'll be some pretty cool matchups for you next year. In your next football season. Now, for you next year, what are you looking to improve on in terms of you want more receptions? Are you looking to be, a different part of the offense in terms of like you want to be more blocking tight end, or do you want to, get out there in the slot, get a little more receptions on your belt?
Well, my focus this offseason was just getting stronger, getting faster, working on my mobility so I can be quicker in and out of breaks and stuff like that. So kind of a little bit of everything. I want to be a better blocker, a better receiver. I kind of just want to mix in everything and just get better as an overall player.
Cool, Shane. So are any of the teams you're playing, any of the teams you got recruited by at all? Or I know UCF was one, right? And you played USF last year too.
And Cincinnati and App State, right? Almost
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah, all of them, yeah. They all recruit me out of high school. So sometimes after the games, coaches that recruited me in high school come up and say something to me after the game. So it's been pretty cool to see that.
Any comments like a little negative like to you at all?
Not really. It's mostly positive. Like I can remember the Tulane game. We played in my home, and the coach that recruited me came up and said, "Nice job. Like, hope the best for you, and keep balling out." So that was pretty cool to see and hear.
So you guys played Navy, right? And
yeah.
That's where you see Ty after the game and everything.
I didn't get to see Ty after the game on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he went back home that week or something happened, but he wasn't at the game, so I didn't get to see him then.
Yeah. How are they like with you guys interacting with players after the game with COVID? I know some like divisions are a little more strict.
They kept it. Yeah, they kept it pretty strict this year. Usually you can, spend 15, 20 minutes taking pictures, talking after the game. But this year it was kind of in and out. Like you got to say what's up, high five, this and that, and then you get back on the bus, get back on the plane, and go back home.
You're looking forward to be playing in Dowdy Ficklin, like once it's full capacity. I know that ECU's crowd is pretty rowdy.
Definitely. ECU has probably, if not the biggest, one of the biggest stadiums in our conference. So I can't wait to see it when it's full and packed out for a game. So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, ECU, it's about 60,000 is capacity, correct? Yeah, most schools in the American Conference are sitting around 40, 45. ECU has one of the largest capacities in the American Conference football. And I know that the ECU student section is also typically, when you guys are playing really well, pretty packed in, pretty rowdy.
Definitely.
To go off of that,
yeah, the phone drag, man.
I hear ECU is a pretty party school.
Yeah, it is. That was kind of a wake-up call going from high school to college and seeing that. But yeah, I guess it lives up to the reputation for sure.
So aside from partying, Carolina's known for its barbecue, right? I know you're big on food. I always talk about them crab legs while you're getting recruited. A couple of coaches took you out some crab legs. How does Carolina barbecue? How's that?
Yeah.
Any good barbecue joints near you or?
There's a couple of good ones. Like I don't really like the barbecue up here as much. It sounds weird, but the Carolina barbecue has a different taste in different states. So if you come up here and had some, you'd understand. But I don't really like it too much, so I kind of stay away from it.
Oh yeah, that's
one of Steven's favorite restaurants up there is Cookout. You going to Cookout?
Oh, I go to Cookout all the time. I love Cookout.
I knew you were going to say that. I have it on my notes here. I wrote down Cookout. I got to ask him about that.
Cookout is awesome.
Bro, have you tried those little cheese poppers? There's like the
white
fried cheese
bites.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
so good. Oh my goodness.
They give you all this food for like $9. Is awesome.
Yeah, it's cheap, isn't it?
How is the football coaches with that? Like, are they just encouraging you to eat whatever you want, or are they pretty strict and regimented on what you can eat?
For the most part, you can eat whatever you want, but like when people have to gain weight and lose weight, for example, after lifts, we get 2 supplement pills. We get a protein shake, and we get breakfast catered in right after our lift. So you just grab it and go, and then go back to the locker room, change, go back to the dorm. And then for people who need to lose weight, they're on a meal plan. So Christina, our nutritionist, will print out a sheet with everything they need to eat, and it has like times throughout the day where you need to eat stuff. So that's how they get their weight goals done.
Gotcha. Now, so do you have like a specific amount of calories you have to eat every day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So do you ever wish you pursued baseball, or are you happy with football? Because I know you had baseball career for a little bit there. I think it was a little bit of yeah. Tell us about that.
No, I'm happy I stuck with football. Baseball was fun while it lasted, but it just didn't get as enjoyable as football did for me. I had some suspect coaches that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
That was funny. I know we got to experience that with you, but I remember, I think maybe your last at bat ever in high school baseball, you went up to the plate and the umpire sent you back because you had a chain on.
It took
him too long to put his chain
game,
back on. So
game,
our coach just didn't let him hit it. He had to go sit back down on the bench, and he didn't show up after that for the rest of the season.
I remember I got in the car with my mom after the game. I was like, you know what, Mom, I'm done with this. I'll finish this season, but that's about it for me. I'm not doing baseball no more.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I feel like you came up to the plate. It was either a strikeout or a bomb. There wasn't much in between, was it?
It was something like that. All I remember is the ref stopped me and make me take my chain off. So I couldn't get out fast enough, so coach sat me on the bench.
I mean, it's a little harder for bigger athletes like you to play baseball. I know that from what I've seen, a lot of baseball players, they don't work arms in the off season and stuff like you do. So I mean, that could have the flexibility could have definitely been affected there. But
yeah, I mean, the football weightlifting program. I haven't been out there once, but they've been doing pretty good this year. They beat Duke. They just won a series against Georgia Southern. I think they're ranked.
They're ranked 22nd.
Right now,
what they were ranked last week. I don't know if the new polls came out, but baseball school. What's the dynamic on campus? Are you guys? I know football is probably pretty popular there.
Mm-hmm. So most of all my classes are online, so I never really go on campus too much. But when I do go on campus, usually most of the students have, if not one, maybe two classes in person, and all the other ones are online. So not everyone's on campus, but the people that are on campus, it's like a regular college dynamic. People throwing the frisbee in the courtyard and hammocks up in the trees. It's just a pretty cool environment. So it's been pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, Shane, I saw I believe the coach that recruited you was Coach Mines. Is that correct? He's going to a different school.
Yeah.
Is that a little heartbreaking?
It was.
You guys were pretty close.
It was. Yeah. That's my dog. We're really close, but it was disappointing. But he had family issues he needed to take care of. So obviously, family is his number one priority. So I understand that, and I'll respect his decision.
He played tight end in the NFL, correct?
Yeah.
So it was, you can talk about that. How was that, playing for a coach who played, in the NFL? It's obviously somewhere that you maybe would like to be in the future.
I mean, it was awesome. There's so much things that he taught me over the course of this last season, and even before I even got to campus, was stuff that he would teach me. So he played receiver at the University of Virginia, and then he played tight end for the Chicago Bears. So I kind of got both sides to the story. So, for example, since he played tight end, he taught me how to block, but he also taught me how to use my body position the right way because he wasn't always the biggest. So he taught me the right technique and how I can use my body to my advantage and all these little tricks and tips that I use all the time in games. So it was awesome to do that.
Gotcha.
So, Shane, do you have aspirations of playing in the NFL, or is it, if the opportunity comes, would you seize it, or are you kind of plan on doing something else after these 4 years?
That's definitely a goal. That's always been a goal since I started getting serious about football. But if it doesn't work out, obviously I'll look towards my major and see if I can go somewhere with that. But the goal for me is to make it to the NFL and have a great college experience.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I think that was one of the reasons also you decided to go to ECU. Not only were you going to have a good chance to get on the field as a freshman, but you're also going to be playing under a coach that, had been to the NFL and had that experience.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of separated ECU from the other schools during the recruitment process? Was it?
To be honest, it was just a family environment. Like with all the coaches, they always kept in touch with me all the time. We're texting me, calling me every day. So we really got close with the coaching staff. And then when I came with the visit, it was just like everything clicked for me. I just had that feeling in my gut that this was the right place for me.
Yeah. So I mean, we're all rooting for you to go to the NFL, but if it doesn't come through, would you consider coaching at all at any level? Or
Yeah, I've had a couple of my old coaches give me opportunities already that even coaches that recruited me saying like if I wanted to coach after, like I could come coach with them. So that's definitely something I'll have to look into in the future, but it's not something I'm focused on right now.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be. Obviously, you want to get through your first year of college and play your next 3 years. But one question I did have with the COVID complications here, did you end up getting COVID at all, or were you pretty much fine throughout the entire season?
So I got on campus June 22nd, and I actually got COVID 4th of July week.
Oh, really?
So I was stuck in the dorms on 4th of July, and a lot of my teammates went home because they lived nearby, and I was just stuck in my dorm on 4th of July weekend, just going through the whole COVID process and how I lost my taste and smell and all kind of crazy stuff. So that was interesting.
I feel you right now. That's what I'm doing. I have COVID-19. I'm quarantined in my dorm. I'm missing media day right now from my college baseball team, so I'm not be able to get through all the gifts and the green screen pictures and stuff like that. So I understand. Yeah. Definitely sucks. It's not fun.
For sure.
But at least you didn't get it during the season.
What?
I said at least Shane didn't get it during the season.
What did you say?
That's what I was going to say. I was about to say the same thing. Is at least you didn't get it during the season, because that way and going forward, you knew that you weren't going to be able to get it again, which was a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they actually do antibody tests. So they test me every 2 weeks for antibodies. So since I still have them, there's no complications of me going to practice in games. So as long as I have antibodies and I test negative 3 times a week, then I'm good to go. Because during the season, we test on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow.
So, yeah, you kind of get used to the COVID test after a while.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, that's pretty ridiculous. All right, here we go. A little fun little section here. Can you give me a top 5 favorite movies here, Shane?
Top 5 favorite movies. All right, I'll go Real Steel.
Hey, Real Steel, yes, sir.
I'm going to go Jurassic Park. I'm going to go Transformers. What else?
What's that one football movie? It's
Avengers, and then Draft Day.
Draft Day is good.
There you go. Good stuff right there.
So Shane, being a college athlete, do you think college athletes should be paid, or?
Dude, all right.
Tell me,
or at least compensate. Well, now we're going to talk about this, but we're also going to ask you about the new NCAA video game that's coming out later.
Yeah.
All right. I definitely think athletes should be given compensation for what they do for the schools, because at least in football, the football program in general makes so much money for the schools, and athletes never get compensated for what they put in, day out. And I never really understood it until I was in the process myself of what, athletes go through and all the hardships we go through. So I definitely think we should be compensated a little bit. Now, at the FBS level, at least for me, we get stipend checks every month. So every month I get a $450 check just to go to school here. That covers some of those expenses, but it's not enough for everything you need to do, because, we're athletes, we eat a lot. So we kind of run through that money pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, being on a football team is a full-time job as well. You guys, I'm sure, don't have time to actually go out and get a job. So I think that schools should take that into account, like when they discuss this topic,
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
You need that $450 isn't going to last all those cookout meals, right?
No, it's definitely not.
Wait, if the NCAA game comes out, have they talked to you guys about that at all? If you guys will get any sort of.
Yeah, are you going to be able to play as yourself? That's the real question we need to know.
Yes, I will be able to play as myself, but they haven't talked to us about
that
the game.
That sounded weird.
Yet. They have said.
Isn't that going to be kind of crazy? Like, you're going to be able to,
Yeah. They haven't talked to us about the game, but the rule comes out this summer whether we can be compensated for like our name and likeness. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're one of the like quarterback or obviously you tight end, like, and you're getting a lot of playing time and the
Yeah.
fans know you and you have a little bit of a fan base, I
Mm-hmm.
think you guys should definitely get some sort of money, whether it be from jersey sales or merchandise, anything that like kind of draws attention to you. Not only it should end up in your pocket is what I believe. But I feel like if it's like the third string punter and nobody knows his name, I don't know if he should be making as much as let's say the starting quarterback. What are your thoughts on that? You think it should be like equal pay or kind of like based around?
Um, I don't know how they're going to do it. Obviously, being more of a popular athlete, you're going to get compensated more. But I don't know how they're going to do that. Some athletes or a lot of athletes are starting to make their own brands, so they can send out merchandise for stuff. Like a couple of my teammates have already started their own brands and are prepared to sell their merchandise when that rule comes out. So it all kind of depends on who you are and who you know at this point.
Shane, you got 3 years left there at ECU, but obviously, I'm sure a goal of your guys is to make it to a New Year's Six bowl. I'm sure that's a goal every single year. Playing in the American Conference, you pretty much know that if you win your conference championship, you have a pretty good chance to get there. The last couple years, Cincinnati, UCF twice, Houston's been there. So with that said, what are your goals? For the next couple of years, do you think that you guys eventually, as a team, will be able to get to something like that?
Yeah, definitely. We hope for this year and the years coming that we'll be able to go to a bowl game and win a couple of those. But that's not really our focus. We want to get to a conference championship and win a conference championship. That's always our ultimate goal. But bowl games are a product of that. So we're obviously focused on those too, but it's not our main goal at this point. But we're definitely striving to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of like? Is it younger class at ECU, or is it more older juniors and seniors leading the
Yeah,
way?
we definitely have a young team. We have 21 of 22 players coming back with starting experience. So we have a really young team, and we don't really have much seniority on our team at this point.
Yeah, that's really good. I saw LSU last year. They won the national championship and they lost all their starters and they weren't very good. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's definitely something to be proud of. Has COVID affected? I know it's affected the transfer portal. It's pretty easy to transfer somewhere now, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're pretty happy at ECU though, right? You wouldn't consider leaving, or?
I mean, it would have to be an extreme case for me to consider that. Obviously, there's that option for me to leave if I wanted to leave, but that's not something I'm focused on right now. I hopefully don't want to have to focus on that. Hopefully I can stay here and have a great experience here so don't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah, has your family come up at all to visit you? And
yeah, family comes up all the time. They come up and go to the games and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
I see them every other week. Not every other week, but when we already had a home game, my parents came up to every home game, so that was good to see them every week.
Yeah, so your dad's a big guy. Did he play football in college at all, or just?
Dad played basketball and football in college, and then mom ran track at college. So my dad went to Morehead State. Not Morehead. I can't think of it right now. He went to college in Atlanta, and then my mom ran track at San Diego State in California.
Gotcha. You had mentioned that you guys got to play at USF this year. It's pretty cool because that's where the Super Bowl venue was this year. So, I know in the American Conference too, you guys play at Temple at sometimes, which is, another, NFL stadium. So I guess it's probably pretty cool for you to be able to show up to some of these NFL stadiums and, with the hopes of eventually getting to play there, on Sunday.
Yeah, it's definitely a new experience. It's definitely a cool experience. For example, just going from your regular like home college game day kind of thing to going to NFL stadium, and it's like, wow, I'm like taking this next step up. Like this is where I want to be. kind of gives you a little extra motivation when you're playing and stuff like that. But playing in NFL Stadium is definitely a different feel, and it's definitely an awesome feel. Like our first game this year is it's on ESPN against Appalachian State in the Panther Stadium, so I'm excited to play that game.
App State
be
is
real cool.
it's at a really nice campus.
Yeah, for sure.
App State's a very good football program too, and you had offers from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the mountains, so they have a
It's a little colder up there. I didn't want to be that cold, so
yeah. I mean, you grew up in the South the whole your life, so
yeah. How was that? I know you guys got a little bit of snow this year.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy getting snow here because I haven't seen snow in so long. I think the last time I saw snow was like 8th grade Washington D.C. field trip. But like other than that, I never get to see snow. So seeing snow here was awesome.
Yeah, no, I know how you feel. I remember I drove in snow for the first time this year, and I was like, "What is going on?" I was sliding all over the road, like I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little odd to me that Luther chose Minnesota, in the recruitment process. Did he talk to you about that at all, or?
He talked to me about his choices and what he had narrowed it down to, but yeah, Minnesota is definitely going to be a wake up call for him. He's definitely going to be cold. Minnesota's a good program. They have a good head coach, so he's going to have to go through, everyone has their first college experience, so he'll get that wake up call when he gets to college and he's going through practice and he realizes that everyone is just as big and strong as everyone else. So that was definitely something I had to adjust to when I first got to college.
And to build off of that, I always say, especially like I'll talk to my, little sisters, looking to play, Division I soccer. And I say to her, when you're in high school, you're playing with, and for you, for the most part, you probably, most of the fields you stepped on when you were in high school, you were one of the better players on the field, whether it was, just in practice, you're, probably the best player on the field, but, when you're going to other, fields. But now you would show up to Division I football, and every single kid was that kid in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, and talk about, the adjustment you had to make when you stepped on the campus at ECU is every single kid had been that kind of his whole life.
Yeah. The first adjustment you have to make as going from a high school athlete to a college athlete is the speed of the game. So first thing you notice is while everyone is moving, full speed just as fast as I am all the time. So first thing to get adjusted to is the speed of the game and just how fast everything moves. And then building off that, the second thing you notice is wow, everyone is just as strong as I am. So instead of, pushing around that kid in high school on the field every Friday night, you're getting pushed back by someone who's 23, 24, already has kids in some cases. So it's definitely a wake-up call for sure.
Yeah, and especially with COVID, and the years of eligibility happening. Like I know there's a lot of kids that are still in college are like 25, even sometimes 26, and they're teammates with these kids that just graduated from high school. It's a big adjustment for the high school kids coming in.
Yeah, it's definitely a wake up call, and everyone has their first kind of college experience where they get that wake up call, whether it's practice or a game. I definitely had in mind, but everyone.
Where was your wake up call?
My wake up call was we were doing team 7-on-7 in practice, and I had ran a crossing route across the middle of the field, and the quarterback kind of like floated me a ball, and as soon as I touched the ball, the strong safety just laid me out in the middle of the field. It was our starting strong safety, laid me out in the middle of the field, got up slow, shoulder was hurt, and that was my first college wake up call. And after that, I was like, yeah, all right, I need to step my game up a little bit.
Yeah, what was your favorite game this year to play in?
Favorite game? Oh, that's a hard question.
Was it the first game, or was it one of the games you guys may have won by a good amount, or just overall played well, or individual success?
First game was definitely crazy for me because it was like my first college game, like that I'll never forget that feeling of being super nervous and having a police escort to the field and all the game day things you go through, the pirate walk and stuff like that. So I'll never forget that feeling. But I would say the best game or the most fun game would definitely have to be the last game. We played SMU and we were beating them 48-0 at halftime, and they were 7-3 and ranked in the top 25 this last year and competing for a conference championship. So being like going up 48-0 at halftime and then beating them 53-37 or something at the end of the game was just crazy to me, and it was a great experience.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane. Well, we thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you joining the podcast. Great for first guest. We'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Steven, you got anything else?
No, Shane, thanks for joining us. Good luck next season, and ball out, bro. We got the city rooting for you, bro. Make us proud, all right?
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys.
Of course, bro.
All right, see you later.